Now that we've gotten our first look at NHL 24, it's now time to decide if you are going to pre-order this year's game. In this video, I'm going to break down the benefits of getting the X Factor edition as opposed to the standard. We'll talk about how to save the most money when pre-ordering the game, as well as expectations to other things when it comes to launch of the game, like loyalty packs. Alright, so let's break down each version of NHL 24. We will start things off with the standard edition of the game. With NHL 24 Standard Edition, you will get the base game. You will also get the Hut Power-Up Icon Choice Pack, as well as the World of Chell Battle Pass XP modifier that you can use for the World of Chell Battle Pass. Now, in terms of pricing, it will depend on what generation of console you are on. In US pricing, if you are on Xbox One or PlayStation 4, you'll be able to get the Standard Edition of NHL 24 for $59.99. In Canada, this is going to run you $79.99. If you are on PS5 or Xbox Series X, it is $10 more. Again, in the US, you're looking at a price tag of $69.99, and in Canada, $89.99 for the base version of the game. Now, when it comes to the X Factor edition of NHL 24, you're looking at the base game on top of dual entitlement, which essentially will allow you to have both versions, whether it be if you are on PS5, you will also get the PS4 version as well. Same thing for Xbox. You'll get 3 days early access, so the worldwide launch is October 6th. You will get it on October 3rd. You will get 4,600 NHL points, and for the first time, this will be able to be used in World of Chell as well as Hockey Ultimate Team. This comes with a price tag of about $40 Canadian. You'll get the exclusive Cale Makar player item. We've already seen images of it. The 85 overall training camp edition for Cale Makar. You will get the Hut Power-Up Icon Choice Pack that you would get in the Standard Edition as well, the World of Chell Battle Pass XP modifier, and if you are to pre-order the X Factor edition of the game before September 25th, you will get a Hut Team Builder Player Choice Pack, 2 out of 32, and again, it looks like Team Builders will work the exact same in prior years, where you have to collect one Team Builder card for each team in each division, so let's say 8 for one of the Team Builder cards at launch of the game. Having 2 out of 8 already done is a pretty big advantage. Now, this is a pricey edition of the game. No matter what console or generation you are on in the US, you'll be paying $99.99. In Canada, $129.99 for the X Factor edition of the game. Again, it is quite pricey. That's about 1/3 of a new console. Well, let's break it down. The major differences between the Standard Edition and the X Factor edition of the game is the dual entitlement, but again, this is only going to apply to a few people. Let's say you have a PS4 that's upstairs and you want to be able to play, that upstairs. That might be of some value to you. The 3 days early access, however, there is a way to get that with the Standard Edition of the game as well. More on that in a little bit. The 4,600 NHL points essentially wipes out the additional costs, so you're not really saving much there. And then you also get the Hut Power-Up Item Choice Pack as well as the Battle Pass modifier in the Standard Edition of the game. The 2 Team Builder Choice Pack does help, but it's something that you can achieve pretty early on if you just play the Standard Edition of the game. So here's how I would break it down. If you are someone that spends about 1,000 hours in the game, if you play from start to finish throughout the year, I would get the X Factor edition of the game because you are going to get your money back. You are more than likely an avid Hut player or World of Chell player, so the $40 that you're going to get in extra points, you'd probably spend in the game no matter what. The Cale Makar item, I'm not sure how much better that card is going to be than his base card, so again, that's kind of negligible. If you are an offline player, I would definitely just go the Standard Edition of the game. Let's talk about how to save yourself some money. There are 2 ways to do it, and I would definitely recommend doing it one of these 2 ways because it is a very expensive game. The first way is at the launch menu of NHL 23. You can go down to the banner in the bottom left, and you can click on this limited time offer. When you click on the limited time offer, it will bring you to the PlayStation store, and it will apply a 10% discount for the X Factor edition of the game. Again, in Canada, it's $129.99. You can see here that I can get it for $116.99. The same 10% applies in the US as well. Now, again, if you are an offline player, I would not recommend going this route. I would only do this if you are dead set on getting the X Factor edition of the game. NHL 23 was not a good game. If you are still pessimistic, then I would definitely go with route number 2 before you spend $120 on a new game. And again, this is all before taxes. The second way is through EA Play. Now, this is a membership service that you can sign up for, and it's $5 a month. Now, you can get the Standard Edition of the game that will release on October 6th with EA Play, you can access it on October 3rd with a 10-hour free trial. And all of that, which happens in the 10-hour trial, will carry over to the full game for you. That means you can sign up for 1 month of EA Play for $5, save the 10% on the standard edition of the game, and then just go ahead and cancel EA Play before the second month kicks in. This is what I would recommend for anyone that is not dead set on getting the X Factor edition of the game. Now, I do need to mention that if you are going to play the game all the way through as well, you might want to consider EA Play, because I know I saved on packs in store and things like that throughout the year, so it definitely paid for itself. But I'm in the small minority when it comes to people that play NHL. Lastly, one of the most asked questions that I've gotten so far about pre-ordering is that last year you were able to stack the EA Play and the 10% discount for getting the game early. That is not an option in NHL 24, it appears. So you are not going to be able to save 20% off of your pre-order. It looks like you're going to have to choose between one of the 10% options. Now let's talk about loyalty rewards. So this was a massive hot button topic at the launch of NHL 23, because it appeared that EA wanted to move away from giving out loyalty rewards every year. If you remember, there was massive criticism at the beginning of NHL 23 about the lack of loyalty packs, and again, by everyone's feedback, EA decided that was the wrong move, and then they offered everyone loyalty packs depending on if you played NHL 20, 21, and 22. That's usually how it goes. So if your profile has a trophy essentially for each of those games, you will receive loyalty packs in the next year's game. There is no confirmation on loyalty packs. However, everything that NHL 24 and EA has released about this year's game have been the right note. They have said the right thing. I would be stunned if after what happened in NHL 23 that they don't offer loyalty packs in 24, but we'll get news on that, and I will try to get ahead and ask the developers myself to see if I can get some confirmation before, or if there is going to be an official post about it, but we'll have to wait and find out about that. If you have any questions about pre-ordering, anything like that, let me know in the comments section down below, and I'll be happy to help. Stay tuned to the channel for the most up-to-date news, tips, and info for NHL 24, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.